This lesson is to review and practice what you learned in Unit 5. And to follow along with the project files that I used in the course, just open up your exercise files folder that you downloaded, then twirl open the master project folder, project files, and scroll down to where you see the Unit 5 project files. You can open each lesson one by one if you just double-click on any of the .aep project files, or if you open up the Unit 5 Lesson 5 Practice. This includes all of the lessons from Unit 5, so just double-click on it to open up After Effects, and once the project loads, you will see that there is a folder for each of the individual lessons in the project panel. So I just put them all together into one project just to make it easier for you to go through each lesson. Then all you have to do is just twirl open one of the lesson folders, twirl open the comps folder, and just double click on a composition to open it up on the timeline, and you will see the preview in the comp viewer. You can tap the spacebar to preview the animation, tap the spacebar to stop. Maybe tap the letter U so you can see which layers have keyframes. Tap the letter U to collapse all the layers. Then what you might want to do is just select individual layers, go to the Effect Controls panels, so you can inspect the different effects that were added on each layers. You can just change some of the settings to play around with them to see what happens. You can click on the effects to do the before and after, and you can always just press Command or Control Z to undo. Here's a little side tip. If you're in the Effect Controls panel, but you want to get back to the project panel, but you don't see it, well, you can click these two little arrows. There you will see Effect Controls, and there's Project. You can just click it, and now you will be back in the project panel. Again, when you click this, the project panel gets hidden. So click these two little arrows to get back, or a little secret tip. If you click on this little empty square here to the left, if you just click that, it's automatically going to jump you back to the project panel. If you are feeling ambitious, a great practice exercise would be for you to try and recreate this sample animation from scratch. So if you're in for a penny, in for a pound, and you really want to try and recreate this animation from scratch, well, the first thing you'll do is create a new composition. Give your composition a name. You can use the same settings I use, which is this first preset, 1920 by 1080 pixels, 24 frames per second. For the duration, I just put 8, hit the tab key, choose any background color you want, click OK. For best practice, you can keep things organized by putting your new composition into the Unit 5 Lesson 1 folder. Put it right in the comps folder. And you will see as you go through each of these lesson folders, each one has their own footage folder. So in the footage folder, it contains all of the assets that you can play around with. And if you look down in the layers panel, here is the sample animation that I created in the lesson. And now you have your new composition ready to be built. And what you can do is just go back and forth between the sample animation and your animation. Maybe just try to build each layer one by one. And you can also copy and paste from one composition to another. So maybe you don't want to have to build out the background texture animation. Just go to the sample animation, select it, press Command or Control C to copy it to your clipboard, go back to your animation and paste it, Command or Control V. Your background layer is done. And if you don't want to start from scratch, but you still want to play around with the sample animation and maybe use it as a guide, well, you can always just duplicate it. So just select it. You can go to the Edit menu and choose Duplicate, or use Command or Control D. I'll tap Enter, Return. Just put something on the end so you know which one's the copy and which one's the original. You can double click to open it. So maybe you just want to go back and forth and compare the two, but knowing that you always keep the original intact. And whichever direction you decided to take, whether you rebuilt an animation from scratch or if you just played around with the sample project, what I want you to try to do in this practice lesson is to export or to render your composition using both the render queue and Adobe Media Encoder. So open the composition that you want to export or render, and go to the top menu, go to Composition, Add to Render Queue. Just explore the render queue. Twirl open the little flyout menus, the quick menus, click on the links, explore the dialog boxes. What I typically do if I create an animation and I just want to get a video file that I can then upload somewhere online is I add the composition to the render queue, which we've already done. Then I usually just go to the output module, click this dropdown, and I choose one of these presets. In most cases, I choose the H.264 40 megabits per second. Then I go to the output to, and I tell After Effects where I want to save the exported or the rendered file on my hard drive. When you click this link, it's going to open up Finder on a Mac or Explorer on Windows. Just choose the destination, give it a name, choose Save. And for practice, you can add additional outputs. So if you just click on the plus, that'll allow you to take one composition and export it into multiple formats. If you want to remove an output, you just click on the minus. And once you're ready to actually render or generate the rendered files, all you have to do is click on the render button in the top right corner. And don't say I didn't warn you, but the noise gets me every time. So click render. You'll see the progress. Wait for the alarm. Go to your destination. There you will find your rendered files. If you want to re-render something that you've already rendered, you'll see it's grayed out. All you have to do is duplicate it. So you can select it, press Command or Control D, or right click and choose Duplicate. Now this one's grayed out and this one's ready to re-render. And you can select anything that you want to delete from the render queue by selecting it, clicking the Delete key. You send a composition to the render queue. Then you add a bunch of different outputs as you want to export this composition in a bunch of different formats. One of the disadvantages of the render queue is that once you click render, you must wait for all of the rendering to finish before you can do anything else in After Effects. So it may disrupt your workflow when you're sending things to the render queue. So if you want to render behind the scenes so you can continue working in After Effects while your files are rendering, for that you can use Adobe Media Encoder. Remember that Adobe Media Encoder is a standalone application that you can download from the Adobe Creative Cloud desktop app. So if you're not sure if you've downloaded it yet, open up the Adobe Creative Cloud desktop app, go to Apps, locate Adobe Media Encoder. The button will say Open if it is already installed on your computer. Otherwise, you'll click on the Install button. If you are in the render queue and you decide that you want to send everything to Adobe Media Encoder instead, just click on the button in the top right corner, Queue in AME. And AME stands for Adobe Media Encoder. Once you click that, Adobe Media Encoder is going to open. In the queue, everything that you had in the render queue is already lined up in the queue, ready to go. You can just click the play icon in the top right corner to render all the files. While it's rendering in Adobe Media Encoder, you can go right back into After Effects and continue working. And if you just want to send a composition directly to Adobe Media Encoder, select either the composition panel or the timeline, go to the composition menu at the top, and choose Add to Adobe Media Encoder Queue. Adobe Media Encoder is going to open up, and there you'll find your composition in the queue. And then you're just going to choose either a preset. You can go down the preset browser. You can build your own custom presets. You'll see there's YouTube presets, which I often use. You can just drag them right on, choose the output or where you want to save. And then when you're ready, when you have everything in the queue, you just click the play icon, and that's going to render or generate your outputted files that you have in the queue. You'll see a check mark when it's been rendered. You see everything's grayed out. You can just right click if you want to re-render and choose Reset Status. And then you can re-render it into different formats or however you want. And if you're still up for it, recreate the 3D spinning logo with the transparent background so you can get practice exporting compositions with the alpha channel or with the transparent background. So for this, I'd select the composition, send it to the render queue. So composition, add to render queue. Go to the output module, click the little drop down, the quick menu here, and I would choose the high quality with alpha since I'm on a Mac. If you're on Windows, you can try the lossless with alpha. Choose the output or where you want to save it. Give it a name, click save, click render. And now I've got an animation with a transparent background. Now I know it looks black, but if I place this over some footage, the black would disappear and I'd only see the logo. And to export your compositions as an animated GIF with the alpha channel or with transparency, I'm going to go to the top menu, click on Composition, Add to Adobe Media Encoder Queue. There I can see the composition in the queue. I'll go to the preset browser. I'm going to do a search for GIF. I'm going to choose this one, Animated GIF with Transparency, Match Source. I'm just going to drag it right onto the output. Choose where you want to save it. Give it a name. Choose the destination. You'll see the file format is .gif. Click Save. Then click on the green icon to start the queue. Or there is a keyboard shortcut, Return. You can see there is transparency. There's no background in the preview. There's a progress bar letting you know how long it's going to take. You'll see a green check mark. When it's been rendered, go to your destination. And there is your animated GIF that is going to loop forever and ever and ever.